Welcome back to the No Class Podcast. I am joined here today by me. Everybody else is busy. I'm going to give you a little first person shooter action. So, normally I would start this off by asking everybody else how their week was and everything like that. We're going to skip the formalities. It's just me and you. So, what we're going to talk about today is I prepared like 50-ish this or that's of general gaming, that kind of stuff. I've got a list here in front of me that I'm going to run off of. Whenever I run out of time on that, I run out of time and the episode's done. I'm not super creative on a solo front. I'm really good at riffing off of other people. It is what it is. We're going to figure it out. So, with that being said, my week has been amazing. I hope your week has been amazing. I spent the entire week sick. Again. Last week's episode, I was sick. I'm just now coming off of it. I don't know if you can hear the difference in the tonality of my voice, but I am coming off of it. I'm getting better. I still have a little bit of congestion, but nothing near what it was. I did go to the doctor. They told me I was being a wuss about it and to grow up. So we're chilling. That's a joke. They gave me medicine. But nonetheless, 4th of July is coming up. I hope everybody has fun plans. And if you don't have fun plans, make some. It's super important to get out, especially with how nice it is out, at least in my area of the United States. It's super nice out. And I think that it's super important to, like, mental health wise, get out and just enjoy the weather. So before I go off on more weird tangential stuff, because I'm panicking talking by myself, let's get into the this or that's, and I'll give a little bit of a description along with every single one of them on my decision. So the first one I have here is subtitles on or subtitles off. When I play a video game, I am avid on subtitles on. When I watch a movie, subtitles on. When I watch a show, subtitles on. When I go to the movies, I'm mad that I don't have subtitles. Like, my brain processes things at the same speed, I guess, as everybody else's, presumably. But for some reason, I can hear better with the subtitles on, dude. I don't know what's wrong with my head, but I can hear better with them on. And, like, I've been sort of working on learning another language for a little over a year. And I started watching like TV shows and movies either in that language with English subtitles or in English with those subtitles. And it helps. I don't know. I guess I just really like subtitles because sometimes I feel like there's stuff that you miss or you may have misheard. Or every now and again I do like the occasional like Creek subtitle where it's like Creek. I'm subtitles on all the way. I'd love to hear everybody else's opinion on this, but I'm super avid subtitles on. My next one is first person or third person. I like both. I think it depends on the genre and the style of the game. Games like Assassin's Creed, for example, I think would not work first person, and if they did work first person, it would be shoddy at best. Whereas games like PUBG, Call of Duty, Halo, first person shooters, I think, have their place being first person, obviously. Obviously, PUBG has like a third person. Fortnite is third person. Gears was third person. They all have like their aspect. So for me, it's genre. Racing, I like first person. Overall, though, first or third, I'll go first person. Screw it. I don't necessarily need to see the skin that I paid for. Digital or physical copies is my next one. This is a tough one for me because I was always an avid physical copy person, but I grew up in the age of physical copies. I grew up with a PlayStation 2 and a Direct 95 Xbox. Like, I didn't have the accessibility that there is now of, oh, I'm just going to download that game. That wasn't a thing. And when it initially was on the 360, it was you put your disc in, you download the game so that if you melt your damn disc and only the starting sequence works, you're safe. I thought that was silly. I like digital though. I do. I know that you don't have true ownership of it. But I'm almost borderline okay with like the Netflix style gaming that we're at, because if I'm going to get to a point where I play a game often enough that it's like if it rotates off of Game Pass, for example, I'm probably going to have bought in to purchase my own like license of it anyway. That being said, I do like having physical copies of older games so that I can sit down and play them offline. But we live in right now a digital age where you can't play any games with friends really that are physical copy anymore. Um, Offline is what I meant. You know what I mean. Campaign. Oh, I skipped one. PC Master Race or console comfort. This one is tough for me. I spent almost my whole life on console. I got a PC, my first PC in I think 2019, and it wasn't good. It was like a insert AMD processor here with a 1080 or no 1050 Ti in it and like 8 gigs of RAM. It wasn't anything to write home about. It was just an intro PC. I bought it on Amazon actually. It was a Skytech, which props to that company. That PC still runs. My nephew uses it to play games. But I didn't really get into PC playing that. Like I still played more Xbox, I would say, than PC by leaps and bounds. But then I think I got the PC that I have like a year, maybe 2 years ago at this point. And now I have an i5 13600KF processor and a 4060. And I can't tell you the last time I played something on Xbox. Like it was for a while that I would only play like Fortnite on Xbox because I liked the controls better, or I would play like Diablo on Xbox because of like the creature comfort of just being able to like sit back like this and just play. But it's gotten to a point where on Diablo I'm realizing that certain builds are only optimizable if you can actually use like a cursor to place where you're going to land your skill, whereas the analog stick doesn't give you that freedom. An analog stick's more of like a linear direction. And then same thing with Fortnite. I played so much Counter Strike on my PC in the last 6 months that I couldn't even get on and play like competently on Fortnite. I know it's an entirely different aim scheme and everything, but my hands just didn't feel right on it. And I bought an Elite Series 2 controller for my Xbox, and I was so excited about it because of the little paddle boys on the back. And my heart was completely shattered because my right bumper on it has all but completely failed in less than a year of ownership. So that's another point to PC in my head because, knock on wood, I've had this keyboard for 4 or 5 years now and I've not once had to replace a switch. I don't know. So I guess I'm going to lean towards PC Master Race for now. And games are cheaper. I like that. I'm cheap. Number 6 is campaign or multiplayer. It depends on the game. If it's Call of Duty, I'm not touching that campaign. I'm not. Recently, I had a buddy that was talking to me and telling me that I needed to get into zombies. And I was like, I don't know, dude. It feels like the same linear thing. But he gave me a run through of like the entire Call of Duty zombies lore. And I was like, it sounds kind of cool. Like it actually sounds kind of cool. So I might give that a shot as far as like a storyline. But there's obviously story driven games, there's multiplayer games like Assassin's Creed. I love for the story always. Call of Duty is only the multiplayer for me. I love a good story. If I have the option of co-op story, I guess I would go campaign, but if it's single player campaign, I'm probably going to go multiplayer. I like having people to chat with even if it's trash talk. Number 7 is mouse and keyboard or controller. I kind of already answered this one. If you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have told you controller day in, day out. I even played Overwatch 2 exclusively on controller forever. And then I switched to mouse and keyboard and realized that I'm 30 times better. So I'm going to go mouse and keyboard. But I think it's what you're used to. If you spent your whole life playing on a controller, you're going to be a monster on a controller. If you spend any length of time on a mouse and keyboard, you're going to get better at mouse and keyboard. So my preference is mouse and keyboard at this point. Stealth or guns blazing? Always stealth. Always stealth. If a game has a stealth mechanic or a stealth option, I'm going to use it. And I'm going to use it to its fullest potential. I recently was playing the remaster of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. And I would save. I was doing a quest for the Thieves Guild. Spoiler alert. where you have to steal, I think it's an arrowhead from a member of the Mages Guild. And in his little compound, he's got all these critters that are just nasty little monsters that'll like destroy your whole life. And I was adamant that I was going to do it without being detected once. And that led to me having, I think, like 25 total saves as I was stealthing around and like going through each little area. And I would get like a little bit of progress and save, and then make a little bit of progress and save. That way, if I had to, I could revert back because I was adamant that I wasn't going to make a blunder out of it. Like, I wasn't going to fight anything if I didn't have to. So I like stealth. Grinding or speed running depends on the game, dude. Games like Chained Together, I'm down for speed runs. That's fun. That's awesome. But I also love games like Diablo where you have to sit there and grind for hours to get something. I think they both have their place. If you speed run a game like Diablo, I think you're an idiot. But if you speed run something like Only Up, that's cool. Or like people that speed run like games like Oblivion. I think that's cool. It's neat to watch the ways that people find like glitches and ways to get around stuff. But I think they're, I don't know, dude. I guess grinding. I'd rather not speedrun every game. Frames per second or fancy graphics. Those go hand in hand, I think. You don't have high FPS. I guess you can have higher FPS with lower graphics. But if your fancy graphics, quote unquote, are in 20 FPS, they're not going to be that fancy, are they? I think there's an ebb and flow to that that's not described in that question. So I guess fancy graphics. I don't know. If I'm playing a shooter, frames per second. This one is a category called tough choices. Save your best friend or save the world. So is that the implication that the condition to not saving your best friend and letting him die is that the rest of the world goes on? Or is it the implication that you save your best friend and the world ends? Because what good is saving your best friend if he dies anyway? Save the world, I guess. One game forever or every game but you suck. One game forever, easily. I would play like Halo Reach. Dude, I'd play COD. You know, pick a game that I have more than 100 hours in, and I'd probably be fine with that forever. I'm a creature of habit. You get me into something, and I'll stay in it. No HUD or no audio. I can do without HUD, especially in like shooter games. I don't need a crosshair. As a general rule, if you can figure out where the center of the screen is, you can shoot. 30-minute cutscene or 2-hour fetch quest, 30-minute cutscene every day. I would rather sit back and watch a cinematic that's amazing than be wandering forever on a fetch quest. I also hate fetch quests. Like Diablo 4, there's a scene, spoilers again, if you haven't played the campaign already, that's on you, honestly. There's a scene where Mother Pariah is leading Templar soldiers into hell to challenge Lilith. And it is one of the most cinematically beautiful things I've ever watched. Honest to goodness, I could watch that 100,000 times. Every time I know somebody new that's playing through the campaign, that is the only cutscene I will not skip. I will sit there and I will watch that entire cutscene because I love it. Blizzard did an amazing job. I'm glazing Blizzard hard on this, but they did an amazing job with that cutscene. Always low health or always low ammo. Always low health. Easily. I can get around just fine with low health. No big deal. One save file or unlimited lives. So if you have unlimited lives, you don't have a save file. If you have a save file, you don't have unlimited lives. Maybe I'm misunderstanding that. One save file. Respawn miles away or respawn with no gear. I'd rather respawn miles away with a little bit of gear. Unskippable tutorials or permanent escort missions. Unskippable tutorials. That's fine. There's only so many mechanics that can be described in a game. Boss fights or puzzles only. Ooh, that's a tough one. So, boss fights are pretty cool, but they can get real grind. I think puzzles only would be pretty fun. I'm a big puzzle guy. I like making my thinker work. Always inverted controls or always motion controls. So this is a funny one. When I played on console up until current. If I get on console right now, I'll still do it. I play inverted y-axis, so my up and down is backwards, and that's just the way it's always been. When I was a kid getting into Halo 1, my brother and all of his buddies, for some reason, would play inverted aim on the y-axis, so down is up and up is down, and that's, my brain has just always been wired that way if I'm on a controller. If I go to PC, I can't play like that. My brain does not wire that way for PC. Like mouse and keyboard, I mean. But controller, I have to play inverted. Would you rather ride Yoshi or ride a Warthog? Warthog, dude. That thing looks so fun. I can't tell you how many times I've ramped that thing inside of areas that aren't supposed to be there, or how many times I've ridden it through like the tunnels. Yeah, Warthog. Have Kratos as your dad or Solid Snake as your uncle? Dude, I'm having Solid Snake as my uncle. Kratos is cool in his own right, and that's fine, but there's just some connection to Solid Snake that would be way cooler, I think. Mario's mustache or Sonic speed? Mario's mustache, dude. I would love to have that big caterpillar. Dude, I can't. This just doesn't grow. None of it grows. I would love for it to grow. If I could grow the Mario stash, I'd rock it every day of my life. Get teabagged in Halo or roasted in a COD lobby? Teabagged in Halo. COD lobby is full of children that scream, and or dudes my age or older that are jobless screaming at me. I'm good. I'll get teabagged in Halo. Stuck in Animal Crossing with Tom Nook forever or live in Rapture from Bioshock? Only one of those is applicable to me. I've played Bioshock. I've not played Animal Crossing. I'll rock with Rapture just because I don't know anything about Animal Crossing, respectfully. Play Dark Souls with a Guitar Hero controller or Tetris with the steering wheel? Tetris with the steering wheel. No brainer. I played Halo with a Guitar Hero controller. It went really bad. Pardon me. I think that Tetris with the steering wheel would be super easy, especially if you just do, left and right for your lateral movements, and then, your gas or your brake for rotationals. That'd be easy enough. Be a Goomba in Bowser's Army or a grunt in Halo? Brother, I'm a grunt in Halo. A Goomba in Bowser's Army is funny. I don't want to get stomped on. A grunt in Halo, if I get shot in the head, maybe I'll get confetti. Tell me I'm wrong. Live with Claptrap or get roasted daily by the Duck Hunt dog? I guess the Duck Hunt dog. Dude, I love Borderlands, but I hate Claptrap. I really have a distaste for Claptrap. Have to romance every party member in Mass Effect or kill them all? Didn't play Mass Effect. I'll romance them. What's up? How you doing? Be the tutorial NPC or the final boss? Well, that's tough. Tutorial NPCs don't be dying. I'll go final boss. I want to have a monologue. Give me some kind of monologue. Goodness. Pixel art or hyper-realistic? I like hyper-realistic. I really do. Pixel art is really cool, and there's some really neat art styles that come from it, but hyper-realistic. Cyberpunk or medieval fantasy? That one's tough. I'm going to go medieval fantasy. Cyberpunk is really cool, and I know that there's a lot of like cyberpunk-esque styles that roll really well. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to go medieval fantasy. Open world or linear story? I like open world games. I love open world games. Give me the opportunity to go and explore on my own and find people to talk to and different quests to do and stuff like that. I'm happy with it. Linear stories are cool. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy a lot of linear story games, but meh. Roguelike or Metroidvania? I don't know what Metroidvania is. I'm going to Google it. I'm Googling it live. I'm not cutting. Metroidvania is a subgenre of action-adventure or platformer games characterized by a large interconnected world with non-linear exploration and progression that is gated by acquisition of new abilities. The term is portmanteau of Metroid and Castlevania. Yeah, no, I'm going with roguelike. Battle Royale or extraction shooter? What's the difference? I presume extraction shooter is like Tarkov, and BR is BR, PUBG, Fortnite, whatever. That's kind of a tough one, I guess. I like extraction shooters in their own right. Tarkov was fun before everybody cheated. I'm gonna go Battle Royale. I don't care as much about having the loot afterwards. JRPGs or Western RPGs? I don't know that I've played any JRPGs unless like Final Fantasy is considered. A JRPG. Persona, Chrono Trigger, Dragon Quest, Xenoblade, Pokemon, and Final Fantasy. Okay, so I've played Pokemon and Final Fantasy. Um, those are fun. RPGs. Oh, Western RPGs. I didn't realize that that's like Fallout, Diablo, stuff like that. Yeah, dude, I'm in for Westerns. Horror survival or cozy farming sim, horror survival. And if you'd asked me a year ago, I wouldn't have said that. I was not a horror game guy at all. Zach, that's on the podcast with me most of the time, that boy got me into survival horror, something fierce, and I really do enjoy it. I never liked spooky games, and it wasn't even because I was like overly scared. I just didn't have a taste for them. But the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, I want to play something that makes me like kind of sweat for my objective. Turn based or real time, I like real time. Turn based is cool in its own right. I watched Zach play Darkest Dungeon recently, and that looks pretty cool. I played Final Fantasy VII, that was turn based. Um, Pokemon's turn based. I like real time combat more. Platformer or puzzle. If it's puzzle like Peggle, no. But if it's like an escape room puzzle, I want puzzle. Dating sim or murder mystery? Murder mystery. I don't do the dating sim stuff. One inventory slot or one weapon only. One inventory slot. Let me pick my weapon and roll it around a little bit. All enemies can talk or all walls can scream. All wall screaming sounds kind of enticing, but I guess all enemies can talk. That sounds kind of neat. Every item weighs something or encumbrance doesn't exist. Every item weighs something. Encumbrance not existing is cool until you have a backpack full of junk and have to scroll forever. Only play games with bad reviews or only play broken alphas. Bad reviews. People are wrong. A lot of the time, people are wrong, and sometimes I just like bad games. There's a game that came out for like I think Xbox 360. Guardians of Middle Earth is what it was called. It was a MOBA on the Xbox 360, and I'm pretty sure it had pretty bad reviews. It came out in 2012. I loved it. And given like I like League of Legends and stuff like that, but at the time I hadn't played those. I had only ever played Guardians of Middle Earth, and I loved that game. Lose all your progress once a week or have permadeath. All progress once a week. I don't care about a wipe. Your character auto narrates everything or sings all dialogue. Auto narrates every. Ooh, sings all dialogue. I don't want to hear him say like when I look it says open. No thanks. Always naked in cutscenes or always looking Fortnite dances. Always naked, I guess. Your only weapon is a frying pan or a kazoo. Frying pan. Enemies shout spoilers at you mid fight or your weapon breaks every 5 hits. Let my weapon break. Be stuck in loading screens forever or hear Navi say, hey, listen every 10 seconds. I'd rather wait 20 minutes on a loading screen than hear Navi talk ever. Um, Moving on from that, that was my 50. I'll do another 10. You know what? I'll do another 10. Loot boxes forever or ads before every mission. Loot boxes forever. Play The Sims, but your sim is aware of you, or GTA, but your character refuses to do crimes. Sims, I guess. Escort mission with Toad or stealth mission with Claptrap. Escort with Toad. Again, I just don't like Claptrap. Only play games with no music or only play games with constant dubstep. I guess no music. Constant dubstep would make me mad because I'm a big advocate of listening for like footsteps and stuff. Get jump scared every 5 minutes or have a laugh track played every time. Dude, I want the laugh track every time I die. Laugh track every time I die would be hilarious, and I would be cracking up about it. Only Melee and Doom or only Sniper and Bayonetta. Never played Bayonetta, so only Melee and Doom. Be forced to do a cooking mini game in every cutscene or a rhythm game every time you reload. Rhythm game every time I reload. I love rhythm games. The amount of hours I have in Guitar Hero is absurd. Fight one Reaper-sized Goomba or 100 Goomba-sized Reapers. 100 Goomba-sized Reapers, I guess. I don't know. Only play underwater levels or ice levels for a year. ice levels for a year. Ice is cake. Be modded into every game as the main character, or be removed from every game's credits forever. Every game is the main character. Bring it on. Give me that energy. What's up? I am gonna do a couple of little tiny like bits of segments here. Shameful Confessions is one of them that I've kind of been looking into. One of the examples I saw was like never played Zelda, and that resonated with me because everything past Twilight Princess and Zelda I've never played. I played a lot of Twilight Princess and I really liked it. One of my dear friends got me into playing Twilight Princess, and I enjoyed it a lot. But all the ones for the Switch, just never did it. And the Wii U and stuff, just never did it. I watched him play it, just never did it. Never played Elden Ring. Haven't played a like proper Souls game after having an exposure. I started playing Bloodborne because Zach from the pod was telling me that I needed to try it because he wanted to rage bait me. And I played it. And I played it while he was here for like 4 or 5 hours. We were sitting here and he was chirping at me. And then I found myself playing it by myself the next day. And the next day. And the next day. I beat most of the bosses in it. It was really fun. So I should probably get into them. I just never tried again. I don't know. Another example that I had marked down was Final Fantasy. I've only ever played 7. I played like the beta for 14 or 15, whatever the real-time combat one was. It was semi newer. I played like 30 minutes of that demo, but I played Final Fantasy 7 on Steam, like the old one, not the remaster. I'd like to play the remaster, just didn't get around to it. I think that's all I got. So, like I said, when I ran out of time, I ran out of time. It's only been 27 minutes. You're going to have to deal with the short one until I get more people back in the mix and cooking on the right kind of stuff. We will have gaming content coming soon. I'm very excited for that. We might start with like some goofy little Discord games and stuff, like the activities. But I also want to try to start getting some people together to do an all-in-one shot so I can utilize my my actual camera instead of my webcam. At everybody else's webcam, I'd like to utilize my camera and the tripod that I purchased for it rather. So if that kind of suits your fancy, I'd be interested to hear like what kind of games you'd like to see played. I'm also we have the new intro that you saw. If you rewind to the beginning, there's the whole new intro. Let me know what you think about it. I made that last night. The music in it came from a creator-based website, and the website is creatormix.com. The song is called Get Under It. It's off of like I think like a trap and EDM beat album. I really like it though. They have some really, really good royalty-free music on there. But that's something that I think that everybody should kind of check out. Sometimes you find some hidden gems in that royalty-free music that I think are slept on. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, please. Our subscriber count has been going up a little bit. Our last video didn't perform as well as typical, but we did miss a week, so I know that algorithmically it's going to be a little off. But I would love to see that driving back up. The engagement and the likes and the views and honestly just a little bit of viewer retention really does continue to drive me to keep doing this. I really do enjoy this, and I'd like to see this being something that I do for a long period of time because I just enjoy riffing with people and sharing opinions and ideas about games. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. When you comment down below with what your favorite take in this was, or if you disagree with me. Let me know what you think about the intro. Let me know which people you want me to push and bug the hell out of to get them back. Other than that, I hope everybody has a wonderful 4th of July and everybody celebrates the holiday with their loved ones and gets to enjoy some good grilled food or whatever your family's tradition is. Without further ado, though, I'm going to call it there. Thank you guys for coming and watching. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I love you guys.